And hello YouTube, this is GS Smart, and I'm today with another brand new video for Gaming with GS. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create your own builds in League of Legends. As many of you know, there are several guides on the internet, whether it's on MobileFire or whether it's on LOL King, whatever site you prefer to use. But whenever you go onto one of these sites, you usually see that there's a guide here. And many League of Legends players use these guides to either learn about the champion, to learn what masteries to use, to learn what runes to use, to learn the skill order, or just to generally understand what to build for this specific character. But the question is, how do you create your own build in-game so that you don't need to keep on looking at these? Now they used to have, where is the They used to have a cheat sheet here where you could actually, oh, here it is. Now a lot of players have this open while they're playing the game, just for the cheat sheet to understand what to build next. But you actually don't need to do this. You don't need to go on these websites. Well, you always need to go on these websites to understand the build first, but you don't need to keep on going back to these websites to understand what to build next. There's actually a way in League of Legends to create your own builds. Now, a lot of veteran players may already know how to do this, so if you already know how to do this, then that's fine. But for all the new players coming to League of Legends, there is a way to create your own builds, so you don't need to constantly go back to the website. And how to do this is that you go into your item sets right here. As you'll see, there's a tab here for runes, where you have all your runes here. I have an AP and an AD set, and masteries, where I have masteries for different champions. However, there's also an item sets page, and when I came to League of Legends and I was new, I was like, what is this? How do I work this item sets thing? Is it really worth doing it? And yes, it is worth doing it because it saves all of your builds. So how do you do this? I have mine organized by champion here, and for my ADCs, I have it organized like so. You can even make builds that are available for multiple champions or all your champions. It doesn't really matter. But the way you start this is by clicking this plus button here. Click to create a new item set. And then you're going to go ahead and name this. You can either name this ADC, or you can name this mid lane, or you can name this after a specific person. We're going to go ahead and make a Riven guide. We'll go Riven top, right? Riven top. And for maps and champions here, you can actually select for which specific maps you want this to be available. If you only want this to be available in Summoner's Rift, you could put it in Summoner's Rift. If you want it to be available for all the maps, then click this one. We're going to make it available for Summoner's Rift. And at the bottom here, you can select for which champions this build can be used. So when you go into game, it'll show you which champion can actually build this, or which champion has the build available. So if you're playing, for example, Aatrox, the Riven build will not show up in your store. This will only show up in your store if you're playing Riven. But in order for that to happen, you actually have to type in your champion here and select it. And then once it's highlighted blue, you know that it is only for Riven. Now, here the item set is assigned to one champion, the item set is assigned to one map. And now you can start building your items. You could change the names of these. You can put starting items. You can also add new boxes here, like so. You can keep on adding boxes. So here you could do maybe early game, right? Or here you could do mid game. And here you can do late game or end game. And you could search any item you want here. So we're obviously going to start with potions. If you know the names of the items, you can just type them in. If you don't know the names of the items, no problem. You can categorize items over here by what you want to build. If you want to build damage, you click damage. And we're going to start with a longsword. And we're also going to start with a warding totem. So this is our starting items. Now for early game, you can go, if you know what you're going to be building. For example, I know I'm going to be building Hydra. Now the cool thing here is that when you click an item like so, it actually breaks it down for you. It shows you what it builds into. So you could pretty much separate your build as conveniently as possible so that you can easily buy your items very quickly. This is how I usually, buy my items so quickly, is because I have my build set up so that I can just press the shop, get what I'm buying, and start leaving already. So this is going to be in our early game. We're going to try to get this. We're also going to try to get boots. Oops. Boots. Now, one thing that's cool about this little system is that it actually recognizes common league terminology. For example, Guardian Angel is usually, what's the word? People usually call Guardian Angel GA. So if you type in GA, it'll actually come up as Guardian Angel. If you were to type in Lifesteal, oh, Lifesteal doesn't work. You used to be able to actually even type in the effect. Well, you see, if you type in armor, it gives you some armor options. So with armor, it does work. I don't think magic resist. No. If you type in MR, magic resist, it gives you, magic resist items. If you type in AD, it gives you some attack damage. If you type in AP, it gives you AP damage. So if you want to search it like that, you can search it like that. So for our early game, these are the 2 items that we're going to be building. And, say that we also want to start building our Bloodthirster as well. And then mid-game, we should have these items built. If you type in CDR, it gives you cooldown reduction. So it's a really nice system that actually picks up common league terminology, and it's really unique. We're gonna build GA definitely late game. Last Whisper. So, you could organize it like this. If you want, you can continue to make more blocks and more blocks, and it'll actually, you can have as many blocks as you want here. I know a lot of people like to, put a lot of items here for some options. If you wanted to make a box, if heavy AP, what is Riven going to build with heavy AP? Well, we're going to build a Hex Drinker for sure. And then, if you want to find out, what does this build into? Well, this is this is the only thing it builds into. If you were to click Magic Resist, this is everything it builds into. So, it's a really neat system, and it isn't too difficult to use. It's very easy to use. And if you wanted to save this build now, click to save your item sets. And you can use this button to delete anything. So as you can see, I actually have 2 Riven top. I have a Riven top build, the one I just created right now, and I have a Riven top mid. So when you actually play as this champion, you will see that the Riven top and the Riven top mid will show up in your game. When you usually, for example, store. I want to show you guys how it looks inside, because I really don't want to log into the game because I'm going to have to change screen recorders. Okay, so right here, as you can see, there's a little down arrow here by the recommended. That down arrow, this recommended tab is going to change to the title of the build here. So Riven top mid or Riven top, this is what the title is going to be like. It's going to be Riven top. And if you want to get this recommended item, this recommended tab back, there's a little down arrow here. As you can see, there's a little down arrow right there. And if you have 2 or 3 builds for that champion, you can switch between builds. And that's where the recommended tab will be stored also. The down arrow will give you all the builds that are available for that champion. So if you want to make the build, if you want to create a bunch of builds and make them available for all champions, then all those builds are going to be in this tab right here and give you a little menu. So that's how it basically works. And that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to show you this for the new players because I know this is something that's really helpful. Even if you want to learn how to make your own build, even if you don't want to use the Mobifier builds here, this is really good if you want to, experiment around with different builds. This is a lot of fun to make. I like making builds, and sometimes you just need it for experimentation. As you can see here, I have a tanky section in case I need to go tanky for Riven, top, mid, and I have my build set up the same I have for all my other ones. If you look at my Darius build, it's a little different, as you can see, versus AP. I actually have the order of the items I want. So you can also put it like this in an order. I'll first buy this, then that, and that, and that. So it's a lot of different ways you can create your builds here. Whatever is more helpful to you. But hopefully this is something that helps a lot of new players to know. A lot of veteran players know how to do this. But for all the new players, hopefully this is something that you didn't know yet, and now you know, and this could probably make your building strategy a lot better, since you don't need to be in game and search for the item and wonder what you're gonna buy next. So this is definitely something to learn from and to use while you're playing the game. Thank you for watching. I hope that this video helped you out in any way. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It'll really help me out. If you didn't like it, you can leave a comment below as well and give some feedback. If you have any other comments or questions, please leave them in the comments as well. And I usually try my best to answer those comments within the next 24 to 48 hours, depending on how busy I am. I also have plenty of other content on my channel about different gaming tutorials, as well as general gaming videos for Guild Wars 2, League of Legends, Minecraft, and any others that you may be interested in. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, check it out. And if you like what you see, you can subscribe too. Would really appreciate it. You can also check out my other channels and social medias as shown on the screen right now. And with that, thank you so much, everyone. And this is GS Man Smart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.